Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining us for another webinar. Currently, we are on ECQ, which is short for Enhanced Community Quarantine. And because of this, majority of businesses took a hit, which means that there are a lot of businesses out there, business owners, entrepreneurs out there that have very big headaches. Hi, my name is RP Argonza. I'm the proud CEO of Argonza Trading. I'm also on the board and CEO of Founders Cafe Incorporated. By practice, I'm a business consultant specializing in strategic planning and development. Welcome to another episode of the Business Webinar Weekly. Today's webinar is entitled, What Now? Because that is the question that is in the minds of a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners today. Because as we will eventually head towards GCQ, the new normal, or whatever that future is called, something as business owners, there's a very important question that we must first ask ourselves. And that question is my business ready for it? To help me in answering that question, I've invited three people that I personally work with on a daily basis, people that help me strategize not only for my own companies, but for the companies that seek my consultancy services. And they are the following. We have Wenie Argonza, my wife, and the CEO of Argonza Aesthetics and Dermopigmentation Academy. We have my business partners and dear friends, Ryan Magrina and Chris Estacion. Ryan is the head of our food operations at Founders, and Chris is our managing partner. Let me bring them out for you guys now. There we go. Hey guys.
Hi guys.
Hello, how are you? Hope everyone is well.
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Okay,
Hi
great.
everyone, thank you for having me here.
Medyo maulan ngayon. I hope all our panelists, as long as all our guests, people watching us from their homes today, I hope everyone is safe. May bagyo ngayon, so hopefully everyone is, cozy inside their homes. So just to set the tone for everyone who is watching, this thing that we're about to do, this is actually something that we do on a weekly basis. You see, the four of us plus one more plus G Olasiman, who is a very important part of this group as well, our marketing partner. We have these kinds of meetings in our office almost once a week, or at the very minimum once every 2 weeks, where we try and discuss issues that may affect our business, not only our business but the business of our clients. You see, for somebody who's been blessed with the great gift and responsibility of strategizing for multiple companies, it's our business to know the trends and the issues that may affect our businesses and our clients' businesses. That's what we're gonna try and do in this webinar right here. Okay, now mind you guys, those kinds of meetings normally they take about half a day, but we're gonna try our best to squeeze in as much as we can in 1 hour and a half. Okay, so are you guys ready, panelists?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes, ready.
Okay,
Yes.
ready. Nice. Very nice. So right now we are at a very hard situation for businesses to navigate. And that is the eventual transition of businesses to the new normal or to the GCQ.
Yeah, actually, um, just to give a few words about our transition towards ECQ to GCQ. There are actually some industries, especially not just my industry, but there are also other industries out there that's also directly affected. As you can see in our industry in aesthetics, one of the protocols that's strictly implemented is the social distancing protocol. I don't have to elaborate further, but whenever you do facials, you cannot just do facials or do lip tattoos or any other types of services without really touching your client. So with this transition towards the GCQ, I'm afraid our industry would still be categorized as an industry that still cannot be permitted to operate. And not just our industry, actually, RP, but also other industries out there, like events, wherein
That's true.
the main core of their business is social gathering.
That's true. That's true. Thank you for that. Actually, since you mentioned that, let me just share something to our viewers. So, guys, we have here this. So this is. Let me remove this muna. There you go. So this is from Philippine Star. So thank you very much, Philippine Star, for sharing this information with us. So these are just some of the guidelines na nilabas for certain businesses kung sino yung mga businesses na i-allow ng mag-operate on ECQ, modified ECQ, and GCQ. So in this so this is like 7 pages, I think. I'm just gonna browse through real quickly. Dadaanan ko lang siya ng mabilis para hindi naman masyado tayong magtagal diyan. Pero what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and include the link of this later sa baba sa comments natin, so that if you guys want to check it out yourselves, the viewers, if you want to check it out yourselves, you can do so. So ayan, it shows you kung ano yung mga by category siya, kung ano yung mga allowed sa hindi allowed. So you do see some businesses na nung hindi pa pwede sa ECQ and the modified ECQ, they will now be allowed to operate under the GCQ status. And this last page here, ito apparently talagang hindi pa pwede. So I'm seeing red across the board from ECQ all the way to GCQ. Business sectors like gyms, entertainment industries, kid amusement industries, libraries, archives, museums, tourist destinations, travel agencies, tour operators, etc. And personal care services like massage parlors, sauna, facial care, waxing, etc. So those are just some of the businesses that really not allowed in the GCQ phase or in the GCQ transition. Okay. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about with regard to this webinar, with regard to this meeting, is like what I was saying. I think I said this a little under a month ago or close to 2 months ago. Na even without the restrictions na binibigay sa atin ng ECQ or modified ECQ or what have you, there is a very important factor right now that we need to address, na I believe will become a very big deal in days to come, especially when we transition nga towards GCQ, and that is yung tinatawag natin na yung tinatawag natin na consumer behavioral shifts. Okay, so basically consumer behavioral shifts are yung behavior ng mga tao. We can expect them to change because again, like for example, ako marami ko nakakausap recently na even if i-lift na yung ECQ on May 30, a lot of people would still prefer to stay at home and not really go out kasi nga we're not really sure if it is safe na para sa atin eh. So that's one of the behavioral shifts na we're talking about, na instead na ang mga tao you are now given the freedom to go anywhere you like. Instead of you taking advantage of that freedom, you will still opt to stay in the comfort of your homes because right now ang umiiral is really thinking of your safety. So with that in mind, with that consumer behavioral shifts in mind, can I please ask Miss Wenie again, what are the behavioral shifts that you can share to our viewers that we can expect, or maybe you are already experiencing na nga in the beauty and wellness industry?
Well, just like what I've mentioned earlier, RP, the first thing that people will think will always be their safety. And so in our industry, it is very important that when you do any types of services, there's always that touch involved. It's always a personal touch. And so the perspective that people have when regards to going out and getting their schedules for the different services, probably I wouldn't say that it's going to be 100%. Yung impact is towards 100%, but we will really see a gradual change of people getting these kinds of services, even if the GCQ is lifted and we're in the new normal situation. So social distancing is one of them. Second would be the spending pattern, the spending behavior of people would greatly change as well. Simply because this is a very difficult situation. Um, I believe people would prioritize more on spending what is essential, as opposed to spending their money on non-essential ones. So I think for me, I think these two shifts in behavior, in consumer behavior, would greatly affect our industry in aesthetics in particular.
Hmm. Thank you very much for those all valid observations. Kasi nga naman, like what you said earlier, syempre kesa unahin pa ng ibang tao yung thinking about sa pagpapaganda or other, services, they will most definitely right now look at the important stuff, which is again, like what you said, the essentials. So that is very valid. Thank you very much, Winnie. I appreciate that point. About you,
Yeah.
Chris, in the in the retail industry, the type of industries that deal mostly on a face-to-face type of basis. What are the behavioral shifts that you can tell us? You can give us ideas on that we can expect in the GCQ.
Yeah. So as Wendy said, social distancing will really be here to stay. It seems like the only time that people will be comfortable with not doing social distancing anymore is when may vaccine na, diba? Or even after there's a vaccine, maybe months after, it will still be there. So for retail places, that's like basically cutting your floor space in half, diba?
Mhm.
So the amount of tables that you would have fed customers, bilang you have to make for spaces to for people to walk by. Even if other retailers are same thing. So that's going to be
Can you expand on that a little bit, Chris? When you say na your space, you're virtually you're basically cutting that in half. That means, di ba, parang to give way to proper social distancing, no?
yes,
For
yes,
example, in a restaurant setting, a table na dati can sit siguro four people, ngayon because of one seat apart, maybe dalawang tao na lang makakaupo. Is that what you mean?
exactly, exactly. More than likely, it's gonna be like that, or you're gonna have to design your place for it to be ready for that kind of situation. So you see, like online, you see they put barriers between tables. So you're gonna have to think of a way to do that to incorporate social distancing within your shop. Next, I see that sanitation would also play a big factor.
Yeah, very good point.
So
Sige. Mhm.
dati kasi medyo we're not as picky or choosy when it comes to sanitation of certain places. Now we're gonna be a little more. We're gonna look at it a lot more. And then aside from this, there is gonna be a bigger push online. Because more than likely, a lot of the people are going to buy their stuff online for the
Especially sa
remainder of the GCQ. Exactly.
correct.
Also, the reason why there are more people going to do online is because there's now a big a lot of people are going to go into work from home. So it's very likely that a big percentage of the people that have to work from home right now will continue to do so even if after the ECQ.
That's
So
that's good.
yeah,
Lalo na, I think lalo na our government is making a big push for companies na kaya to send, to have some of their employees, some of their workforce work from home. That what you just mentioned, I think that is going to be a very apparent thing nga na makikita natin in the new normal. And siguro to chime in on a little bit sa sinabi mo kanina, kasi you touched upon on si online and yun nga si work from home on a retail level, especially for those na merong mga retail stores na literally selling items, no? Yung sinabi ni Chris na yon na behavioral patterns na you can expect na people would probably want to order more online, and so a lot of people would, you know, even for work would stay at home. Those are some of the behavioral patterns na I believe can be exploitable. Those are the things that you can take advantage of. Okay, and we will definitely touch upon that a little bit later on. Okay, how about you, Ryan? In the food and beverage industry, what are the behavioral shifts that you can share with us? Things that you expect, or maybe you are already seeing in some of our clients, or not necessarily just our clients, in the stores that you are currently seeing.
I see. So, in the food and beverage industry, no, coming into the new normal, people might not be so comfortable early on, and baka so yes, baka yung ibang tao ay medyo matatakot nga silang lumabas.
Mhm.
Oo, kasi nga dahil nakakatakot naman talaga yung virus. So, yung tao medyo takot mag-dine in. Basically, pupunta sa mga lugar or places like malls, sinihan, yung mga ganon.
So in the food and beverage industry, we can expect na yung dine-in talagang
Yeah.
humina.
Yes, but at a certain point, no, they'll start being comfortable again. Makakapag-adapt sila ulit, and they'll start making or spending more money. But until we get to that point, so we as business owners, we need to observe, lalo na sa market natin, kung ano may mga nangyayari, and adapt as soon as possible sa mga bagong trend or bagong like DIY, yung mga ganon, to maintain the social distancing and keeping our customers safe.
Ayun. So to sort of piggyback sa point ni Ryan, yes, obviously a lot of us will be afraid to go out. So yung the food and beverage industry, the dine inside, no, the part where you eat inside the restaurant, I think he's right. I think na it'll take some time before bumalik ang sigla ng part na yan ng business. The thing is, ang maganda ngayon, which I believe would also be a new, it's not nga new, it's happening right now. A behavior na directly connected to that would be yung paglakas ng mga tao in terms of taking advantage yung online delivery services. Okay, so ayun, thank you very much, Ryan. I appreciate that. Now, sige Ryan, let's go back to you since na-discuss ko na yan. What are the solutions and recommendations that you can provide to our viewers, the people who are listening, regarding these behavioral shifts na nabanggit mo kanina about dun sa pagiging takot ng mga tao na kumain sa mga store? Ano yung mga recommendations na maibibigay mo sa mga business owners natin dyan who wants to, obviously, being a business needs to survive, who wants to still make some kind of income?
I see. So, dati, no, kung napapansin natin, medyo malakas na yung delivery service natin. May mga apps na yung mga ganon. So, coming in the new normal, mas lalo malakas, yes. But, mas mararamdaman talaga natin yung kailangan natin. Kasi yung delivery service will be addressing this behavior naman. Okay? So, in terms of pagdating sa space naman, kung medyo malaki yung space natin, kaya natin i-accommodate yung mga customers doon sa social distancing standards. So, walang problema doon. If ever naman, medyo maliit yung store natin, kailangan natin i-boost yung online presence natin and take out capacity. Right? Or makipag-partner sila sa mga delivery service or gawa sila ng sarili nila. Or mga app, mga ganon. Okay? So, meron naman din like our social media platform. You can use that to boost your online presence or website as well.
Mm, great, great. So, ang recommendations mo is because nga na with the bad behavior shift na ang mga tao matatakot sa online na directly connected, sorry, matatakot sa dine-in rather, with the direct ano naman link naman yun dun sa good behavioral shift na lalakas lalo ang online delivery natin.
Yes.
The food services, food businesses right now should take advantage of this particular shift by
Mhm.
making sure that they are present in the online delivery or in the food delivery game. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. And Ms. Wenie, how about you? What are the solutions and recommendations that you can give our entrepreneurs in the beauty and wellness industry with regard to the behavioral shifts that you were able to observe and mention earlier?
Okay. For our industry, it's actually very tricky. Simply because 90%. I wouldn't say 90%. I would say probably 100% of all our services is always geared towards personal touch. And so with this type of with this type of situation, I guess the strategy that we would need to do is probably change the way people think about our industry. So it's more of changing their perspective. So as you can see, right now people are really scared. I mean, all of us are scared, right? So yung mga tao takot lumabas, takot mag-dine in, takot magpa-spa, and we cannot blame them for that. Kasi nga, it's because of this virus that's easily transmitted to anything that we touch. And so for us, the best strategy that we can do is change the way they think about our industry. And so one way to do that is to try to manipulate them. I wouldn't say manipulate. Try to show them that the facilities that we have are all sanitized. And so the key there is using online media to show to them that the facilities are clean, and that they shouldn't be scared in getting schedules as soon as the GCQ is lifted, and if we already have a go signal to do so. But when you start receiving clients, there are different types of preparations kasi na kailangan talaga natin gawin. It's not preparation just for the facility, but it's also preparation for your employees, preparation for your clients. Actually, the one that I'm suggesting right now or discussing right now, this is also what I discussed when we had a webinar with our association. Um, so when you prepare your facility, make sure that it's COVID ready, it's employee ready, it's client ready, it's really ready to attend to the needs of your clients. And so when you prepare your facility, you don't just clean it. If you can, if possible na you get a back to zero sanitation, because a lot of times people think now when you do back to zero, it's just to remove odor, which is not. Yes, it removes odor, but it also eliminates the source of the odor. So the source of the odor is naturally the bacteria that's in there. So back to zero is a must. So kung may way to do that, it's really a must. That's just for the facility. If you have sanitation mats. If you could add wash areas or sinks outside the facility, better. If you cannot, at least prepare some alcohol, sanitizers, outside the facility so that when they touch the doorknobs, maiwasan yung transmission of virus. So that's just to prepare the facility. Next is you also need to prepare your staff. Kasi the difference
That is
between
very important.
the difference between a situation when there's pandemic and when there's no pandemic is very different. And so the employees, yung staff natin, and yourself, you also need to be prepared for COVID. Kaya nga, di ba yung mga nurses natin, they have courses that says they are COVID ready nurses. Kasi iba ang preparation for these types of situations. So that's one thing. You have to prepare your staff. So how to prepare your employees? They need to first understand the nature of COVID. Kasi that's important. If they don't understand the symptoms of the COVID, how will they know na yung client na nagpa-schedule already have symptoms? So apart from that, so they need to know the symptoms. And then second would be, kailangan alam din nila yung tamang hotline to call. So kung merong mga clients na naka-schedule and they don't know that they are already a carrier, tapos nasa clinic nila and saka lang na-identify ni staff na may symptoms pala siya, then you need to do proper procedure. So, like in our area in Makati, we have a hotline to call. Yung mga PUIs and yung mga PMUs, stuff like that. So apart from preparing your employees, you also need to prepare the clients. So when you prepare your clients, if
Very detailed. I love it.
Yes, actually, ito yung diniscuss ko din during one of our webinars in our association. I happen to be the president of the Professional Estheticians Association of the Philippines. And this is one of the things that we discussed to make sure all estheticians all over the Philippines are COVID ready when they open.
Great.
So last would be to prepare the clients, of course. So if and when the clients are ready to go out and have their appointments, if you can call them, during the follow-up reminders, if you could already identify, if you can ask questions and identify if they have symptoms of COVID, then if possible, you can reschedule. If wala naman, then tuloy yung setting of appointment, and on the day, you need to have your guidelines outside the facility. Kasi it is important na nabasa nila yung mga protocols bago sila pumasok so that they are already aware. So, these types of things, RP, you think na maliit na bagay lang siya, but if you try to look at it on a bigger perspective, malaking bagay siya. So as simple as, this is something na cliche na nga kasi lagi na nating nakikita sa iba't ibang mga media. But as simple as really washing your hands, malaking tulong siya. So aside from this is just preparation for your clinic, for your facility, for your employees and your clients. Aside from that, kailangan din kasi yung online presence. So gaya nga ng sabi ni Ryan kanina, online presence is really very important. I couldn't stress more how important this is, not just with the pandemic. Pandemic or no pandemic, pagka pumasok ka naman talaga sa negosyo, kailangan mo na talaga na magkaroon ng marketing strategy. Dapat nga 1-2 years marketing strategy. And so, yun, siguro I don't have to elaborate further. But those are the things na I think would be a very big help with our industry.
Wow, thank you very, very much, Ms. Wenie, for a very detailed answer. Guys, I just want to highlight a few things. So, maraming sinabi si Ms. Wenie, pero two of the things that I'm gonna highlight are very, very important. And kasi kaya siyang gamitin ng mga entrepreneurs, business owners, not necessarily just in the beauty and wellness industry. She highlighted some very good points that you will be able to use in your own business, whatever that business may be. Okay, and actually what I'm about to give you is the strategy that we are employing in our own company. So she mentioned earlier that number one, you need to be COVID ready. Oh, si Chris nawala. So, nawalan ako ng isang panel. Right, so number one, we need to, nag-message sa akin. He'll be right back. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just continue. Again, like what I said, there you go, he's back. Chris? I'll just wait for him pag okay na siya. So, like what Wenie said earlier, so she made a couple of points, and here are the ones na I think a lot of businesses, whether you be in the retail space or the beauty and wellness space, you will be able to use this ng maganda. So she mentioned earlier, the first one is for you to understand the being COVID ready. Okay, when we say COVID ready, like what she said, making your location COVID ready by putting in place some facilities to make sure that you are increasing not only your safety but your client safety. Like share ko lang in my office in Argonza Trading, we are a trading company. It's basically people going into our office asking to buy supplies. But what I did there is right in front of our door, nag-install ako ng hand washing area. So before you are able to go inside our location, our facilities, you will be required to wash your hands first sa tapat mismo ng pintuan namin. Without that, you will not be allowed by the guard on duty. After that, after washing your hands, the guard on duty will then get your get your temperature via an infrared gun. Okay, then after that, you will be required to wear a mask. If you do not have a mask, one will be provided for you. Pero for you to go to the actual place where you will get to place your orders sa office namin, you will be required to wear a mask. And we have like 8 stations all over our office na may alcohol kung saan-saan. Kahit saan ka maglingon, marami kang alcohol na makikita. Okay, so that's one. That's what she said. Be making sure that your facility is being is COVID ready. Then the second one is when Miss Wenie said that online presence is the key. Sinabi nilang dalawa ni Ryan kanina, okay? Kasi from a marketing standpoint naman, you will be able to use this as your marketing campaign, showing your clients na yung location mo is safe. You are a business that takes the safety of your clients seriously. You want to make sure na lahat ng tao na pupunta ng establishment mo are safe, na hindi sila posibleng mahawa o makapagdala ng sakit sa establishment mo. So it's simple. You take pictures of your washing stations, of your alcohols, or maybe make a video showing kung ano yung protocols ng pagpasok sa inyo. Yung sinabi ko kanina, bago pumasok, kailangan maghugas ka muna. Make a video of somebody explaining that, or better yet, somebody demoing that. And kasi at this point, what in all businesses right now, like what was mentioned by all our panelists earlier, we can't really force them to buy kasi nga right now iba yung behavioral pattern natin eh. That's why we're talking about the behavioral shifts. Okay, we're not in our normal behaviors right now. We are on our survival type of instinct right now. So being that that's the case, we don't really want to see marketing that's making us, or that's gearing towards making us buy things so much. We want to see things that assure us that the businesses that we deal with on a daily basis are safe and they're doing everything that they can to ensure the safety of their consumers. Okay, so that's a very good point from Miss Wenie. Now let me try. Yes.
Yeah, if I may add, if they wanna know the detailed link, I actually got it from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. They can actually go to the website, World Health Organization, and DOH, Department of Health. So
Oh,
those three sources, yeah. So dun ko lang din siya kinuha, and these are credible sources na lahat tayo ay kailangan mag-abide.
great, great. Thank you. Wait lang guys, I am very sorry for the delay. Pero ito, si Chris is asking me to add him back na. Let me just add him real quick. Christopher, where are you? Wait lang guys, he is on his way back na. There we go, Chris Estacion. Wala yung mga names. There we go. Welcome back, Mr. Chris Estacion.
Hi guys, I'm sorry for the delay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Thank you. Sakto, kasi now the next question is directed to you. In the retail industry, when the behavioral shifts that you mentioned earlier, what recommendations and or solutions, if there are any, can you provide us and our viewers so that we can, navigate our businesses in the new normal? Chris? Hello, Chris?
Hello, hello.
Yun, so I just asked you. Did you hear me? You want me to repeat it again? Did you hear me?
I'm sorry guys, connection's really bad, I guess. Maybe because of the weather.
How about now? Are you okay now? Hello, Chris? Chris? Okay, the show must go on. In that case, we're gonna skip Chris muna for a little bit until he lets me know na okay na yung connection niya. We're gonna go to Ryan na muna. So Ryan, ito na muna siguro yung sagutin natin. So earlier, Wenie just mentioned the importance of online in the beauty and wellness industry, in the beauty and wellness space. And I then said na yung important din on how you can use that via your or for your marketing naman and showing customers that they can feel safe. On your end naman, in the food and beverage industry, what can you suggest? What can you suggest in terms of how online presence can help our clients in the food and beverage industry feel safe about our establishment?
I see. So ngayon, no, you can show online how often you disinfect your space, like once a week or twice a month. Mm-hmm. And as you said a while ago, you need to put up precautions. Example, scanning customers before they enter your establishment, spraying alcohol as well, and providing face masks. Okay. If ever naman medyo may budget sila, they can buy disinfectant tents. Yung para bago sila pumasok doon, dadaan sila doon para talaga safe. Or if wala naman, like what we did sa Argonza Trading and Founders na maging creative sila, maglagay ng wash area dun sa labas bago makapasok sa establishment or sa area. And then we need to be strict with our employees as well na mag-face mask sila, mag-face shield or PPE, magamit sila nun, and practice non-contact transactions. Like if they're gonna pay, meron tayong tray para talaga walang contact. And in that way, we can assure our customers no, na they are safe when they order from your establishment. Yeah.
Good, good. Thank you for that, Ryan. Ayun, Chris left the building again. Okay, so thank you for that. I appreciate that answer. Actually, to to give you guys an idea, teka lang, wala si Chris. Hintay lang natin siya. Pero again, the show must go on. To give you guys an idea, to piggyback on what Ryan was saying, in the food and beverage space naman, you must take advantage of online presence as well. In terms of, again, I'm going to talk about marketing because really at this point, that's the only thing you can do. Right now, your focus must be educating your customers or adding more value to your customers, to your client base, showing them that you are doing everything that you could possibly do, everything in your power to make sure that your establishment is safe for their consumption. In the food and beverage industry, in the food and beverage game, what I would do personally is, aside from the things that I mentioned earlier, where I will make content on how I, install hand wash areas before you can enter. Like what Ryan said, if you want, you can get a misting tent, and showing people that you have disinfectants like alcohol and stuff all over your place, and showing them that you sanitize your establishment once a week or twice a month at a minimum. Aside from that, I'll probably show them, if this was a food and beverage business that has, let's say, you are already into deliveries, I'll probably make a video that shows them of what happens or what goes into us preparing their meals. Okay, who are the people preparing them? What they are wearing, all of that to ensure safety, and then maybe by the time that, or what are we doing to ensure that from our establishment to you and anywhere in between, we'll make sure that your food is never contaminated, nothing like that. Again, it's all about safety, guys. Your marketing efforts right now should be directed to you making your customers feel as safe as possible. Okay, that's really the goal right now. Trust me when I say this, that if you make a marketing video right now telling them to buy stuff from you without assuring them that you are safe to buy from in the first place, you will have a very hard time converting on that particular campaign. Okay, so with that, thank you, Ryan. And so since we are in the online, the topic of online presence, Miss Wenie, can you please give our audience a brief idea on how a business in the beauty and wellness industry can have good online presence?
Um, there are a lot of ways on how any business in the beauty industry and aesthetics do or use rather. We have social media platforms like Facebook. We have YouTube. We have Instagram, and it really depends on them looking for the best possible platform that fits their businesses. Um, and so, just like what I've mentioned earlier, the key there is to use this platform and make sure that you have the right content. So the, con- the key there really is not just looking for the social media platform that fits, but also the content. So again, it's really content marketing. Content marketing is the key to any types of businesses, especially nowadays wherein we're digital. It is very important. Again, just like what I mentioned earlier, pandemic or not, dapat naman talaga meron talaga tayong strategy for marketing. Actually, when you strategize, it's always at least 1 year marketing strategy. And so right now, in this type of crisis, in this type of situation, as much as we want to push for sales, it's very untimely. And so, just like what you've mentioned earlier, the best possible way to, somehow convince your client is to not push for sales, but more of putting out the right content. So when you try to put out the right content, it has to have the value in it so that when they follow you, they see the value rather than they see you just posting so that you can close a sale. It's very untimely and somewhat insensitive, because of this crisis. But when you post content just for the sake of posting it, it's also different. It's also a different story. When you put out content, you have to think of
Very good
the
point.
right content. Kailangan po tama din yung content, timely, but at the same time, they really see the value in what you're doing. Kasi yun naman talaga yung fina-follow ng mga tao. It's the value that you give to them.
Great, thank you. Very good answer.
If I may add, sorry,
Sure. Go, go, go.
if I may add, RP, if they go to our Facebook page, Argonza Aesthetics and Dermopigmentation Academy, you'll see there every day I put out content, either content about the aesthetics industry in general, or put out content about the sanitation that they need to do. But every day I put out content. Kasi nga, content is the key there. And so when you do marketing, it's not just pushing for sales. There should be no hard selling. But you also need to put in mind that even in this time of crisis, they need to still remember you. Kasi that's what marketing is about. Marketing is so long as you're open for business, even if you're hit the hardest, you still should be one of the brands that they would still remember once that difficult once the struggle is finished, it's over. So again, content is the key, but going back, you also need to make sure na when you put out content, it's timely and sensitive to what your situation is.
Very good. So guys, there you have it from Miss Weni. Content is the key. And earlier, I just flashed their handle. That's Argonza Aesthetics and Dermopigmentation Academy. If you want to check them out, you can check them out via that handle, that at sign that I put up earlier, so that you can see the kinds of content that they are putting out there to try and maybe, if you want, use the some of their patterns for your business. Okay, I am getting something from Chris. Is he ready to come back? Makabalik pa kaya yun? Okay. Anyway, let's move on. So this is done. Oh, I know this question is supposed to be for Chris, the other one, but since he's not here, how about the three of us? Let's try and answer this. Why? How important is it for a business to have online presence in the new normal? Okay, so I know we just grazed through some of the important points on how you can use online for your marketing, like what you said, for your content creation, for how to make people safe. But as a business, for a business as a whole, how important is it in the new normal, in the world that we are about to go into, hopefully after May 30, how important is it for a business to have online presence? Sir Ryan, can you please shed some light on this matter?
I see. So online presence right now, no, at this age or this sa panahon ngayon, um, actually kailangan natin. Kasi nga, yung virus, di pa natin alam if magstay or mawala ba siya. Kasi as of now, wala pang vaccine. So, mga tao ngayon, they would like to stay at home, using their phone, browse the internet, check kung ano yung mga mabibili nila online. So, dapat i-boost natin yung presence natin para makita tayo ng mga tao.
Great, thank you. So let me just add on to that. In the new normal, tulad ng sinasabi ni Ryan, we need to show ourselves via our online presence. Kasi nga, one of the major behavioral shifts na we would be experiencing probably in the new normal, in this new world, would be, I strongly believe na yung paglabas-labas ng mga tao, it will start to become limited na, in the sense na first there's the fear, yes, then there's the people na feeling ko talagang nasanay na lang na okay naman pala if I just stay at home, I have Netflix here, I have my phone, I have my laptop, I have the internet, I can do almost everything. Food can be delivered to me 3 times a day. I don't even have to go out for anything at all. Even deliveries, kaya naman i-deliver sa atin. So the behavior of people going out, I think medyo malilimit yan. Yes, people, as soon as pwede na, we will enjoy the experience of going out again, kasi syempre mamimiss natin yan. But then we will start to realize na we've been living inside our homes for the past 2 months, and I believe marami sa atin ang masasanay na dyan. A lot of businesses, like the point that was made earlier, there are a lot of businesses, a lot of workers na nag-transition na completely from a work from home type of situation. So in that, obviously those businesses, those workers, those employees, they're also part of the market that you want to reach. So with that, without people going out of their house to see brands, by the side of the street anymore, online presence is much more important right now, because that is literally the only way for you to reach these people. Okay, that will be the only way for you to be noticed by this market, and that market is going to be a very big market. Okay, especially for those who have successfully transitioned their entire lives. When I say entire lives, their businesses, their office, into a home office situation or work from home situation, then the necessity of going out really has been eliminated, other than the few things that they need to get from the outside world. But other than that, the browsing and all that, most of that will be done in-house now, I believe. Okay, and Ms. Wenie, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, actually, just like what you've mentioned, there are a lot of platforms out there. When media platforms out there, it's not just online, but you have TV, you have radio, you have newspapers. However, if you try to look at it right now in our era, halos wala nang nanonood ng TV eh. Sa bahay na lang namin.
Medyo bumabagsak.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very true. Sa bahay na lang namin, we cut our cables already and have Netflix and just basically Wi-Fi. So online, yung tanong mo na how important online presence is, it is really very important. Kasi probably baka nga less than 1% na lang yung nanonood talaga ng TV. You can always watch that in Facebook. There are a lot of channels in Facebook if you will just follow it. And so not just in my industry, but to all businesses out there, kailangan talaga ang online presence. Again, I cannot stress more how important your business should be put on that pedestal. It is really important, super important. And so, since 90% of the population in the Philippines, I think we are dubbed as number one pagdating sa paggamit ng Facebook.
Mhm.
And so utilize
That
that
is
to
the
your
Philippines. Yes.
advantage. So yun lang, you have to utilize social media to your advantage and make sure that most platforms that you see fit your business, you are present.
Thank you. Very well said. Actually, just to add on, kasi bigla akong naisip while you were talking about how important it is to have, your business on an online platform. Guys, let me paint you a picture. A lot of people, they don't realize na the beauty of having your business online is if you do everything correctly, it actually can be an additional business for your business. Does that make sense? I mean, what I'm trying to say is this. For example, let's say you have, and they do this a lot outside of the country now. Okay, there's one coffee shop in Germany. I don't want to mention the name because wala akong nakuwang permission to mention the name, but you know what I'm talking, or you know who I'm talking about, Ryan, right? So
Yes,
there's
yes.
this, even you, Wendy, you know who I'm talking about. There's this one coffee shop in Germany owned by a guy, kasi bakit pwede ko palang banggitin, he's a public figure, owned by a guy named Tritan Alcelsa, however, you can Google that guy. He started by putting out content of his latte art. So he does latte art. He's a really fast latte arter in the sense that in his shop, one of the things that they advocate is you will never get a bad looking cup of coffee. They always have art on their cup of coffee. And when they started out, it was just about latte art. But now the reports that I'm getting from that particular business is that the income that they are getting from his online following, he has like, I think he has over 20 million followers in Facebook now, and also in Instagram and in YouTube. The income that he's getting from his online platform now surpasses the income that the actual coffee shop is giving him. So since he started, and the beauty of this for him is he started very early. He started at least at a minimum, I think, 10 years ago. Um, the beauty of this for him is he now has two businesses when in fact the original goal for him was just so he can have his original business, the coffee shop, be present online. But because of the following that grew so much online, the following that grew so much online, because as you know, in YouTube and also in Facebook now, you are paid in terms of the amount of views that you get per video. He is now earning so much that his online business, his online brand, is now his number one source of income. So that's just something that not a lot of entrepreneurs realize, that if you do this correctly, if you do your online game correctly, you actually have a very big side benefit of having an additional business for your business, for yourself, an additional source of income. So that's another incentive for you to make sure that your business is present online. And I just want to add that since if you are going to be online, if you're going to commit to having your business, present in the online game, then I would strongly suggest that you commit to it 100%. You try and learn everything that you need to learn so that, just like what I said, you can get the most out of it, maybe even an additional business. Okay? And the beauty of what we have in the world today is almost everything you can learn in the comfort of your homes, because we have a very beautiful thing called the internet, where you can just search for everything that you want to know, and you can literally teach yourself everything that you need to know. Okay? Now, before we proceed, I just want to mention this. We have a A comment from Miss Madeline. Yup, you have to give a compelling reason for people to go back out again. For instance, for salons, women have discovered that ba't hanggang doon lang na nakikita? So I'm just gonna read the rest from this side. We have discovered that we can say color our hair ourselves pala. DIY safe na, so much cheaper pa. Thank you very much. And there is another one from Miss Madeline again. Given that but everybody is online, how do you make sure that you break out of the sea of sameness so that you get noticed? Oh, this is a good question. But Miss Madeline, please give me a second, real quick. Because we are going to transition into our Q&A portion already, and Chris is still trying to rejoin us. Chris, are you okay na?
There we go.
Are you okay?
Hello guys. I'm sorry. I had to nagamit talaga ng office ng kapatid ko.
Okay.
Hopefully
so,
may naabutan pa naman ako.
Ayun. So I'm sorry to everyone. Actually, behind the scenes, nag-uusap kami kaya ako medyo distracted. Kinakausap ko siya. Apparently, his internet connection in his condo gave out and he had to run all the way to the office of his brother to try and rejoin our stream. Pero Chris, are you okay na? Sure na ba yan?
Yeah, I think it's doing good.
Okay, because of that, magko-concert ka ngayon. I have questions directed sa'yo kasi nasagot na namin lahat ng question namin eh. So guys, for those who have stuck it out with us, thank you very much. We appreciate you so much. We are going to have a Q&A portion right after this, but before that, I'm just going to ask Chris some of the questions that I wanted to ask him earlier. Okay, so before our Q&A portion, Chris, can you please give us, I'm sorry, that's not the one. In terms of solutions and recommendations, earlier you were talking about behavioral shifts that we can expect in the retail industry. What are the solutions and recommendations that you can provide our viewers in terms of what they can do for the new normal?
Oh, okay. So as I said a while ago, social distancing is here to stay. So with that, you have to prepare your place, your shop, your retail store for anti-COVID measures. This pertains to kung paano papasok yung mga customers sa inyo, how will they stay, how you interact with your employees, and all that. You have to make the customer feel that they are safe. Okay? That's one, very important. Next, you have to double down on your online marketing. Now, as I said a while ago, online would be actually even bigger right now. So meron na tayong mga people who are staying at home, and there are also going to be people who are going to work from home. So now that they're working at home, they don't have to travel anymore. They don't have to do all these other things. So more than likely, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be using their phones. They're going to probably use the internet. And because they're going to do that, you're going to have to market. It's be best to market to those people. Second, I also mentioned that because of social distancing, more than likely your floor space, the place where you're going to have customers in, is more than likely going to be cut in half. Now, for like a restaurant, that's basically a big portion of your revenue. So you're going to have to find a way to maybe create new products that can compensate for the lack of people who are going to dine into your place. As I see here, as you can see, there's a growing popularity with do-it-your-own products. So let's say like McDonald's came out with frozen chicken nuggets. Jollibee came out with frozen chicken joy. So something that makes sense, something to compensate for the lack of seats that lack of revenue that you would have gotten for people who were dining in.
So
also,
if I may just butt in there. So one of your recommendations is within your same concept, of course. Within your same concept,
yes,
try and expand your products in such a way that it can help you compensate for the behavioral shift that we are expecting, that dine-in situations or retail situations, the physical the physical act of going to your place will affect you, right? That's what you're saying.
That
You
is
start your
correct.
products in such a way, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Um, yes, and then lastly, it is very important that to not skip out on your customer service.
Nice, I like
Now,
that answer. Okay, please
um,
elaborate, Mr. Chris.
okay. Now, for anyone in the customer service industry, everyone knows that one of your best weapons is actually your smile. Diba? Now, since for anti-COVID measures, you're gonna have to wear a mask. So that's basically taking out one of your weapons. Okay,
What weapon is that?
your smile,
Wow.
your ability to make your customer feel comfortable with you. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to overcompensate for something else. So you're gonna have to, let's say, your tone of voice. You're gonna have to make it more lively, or maybe your actions. You're gonna have to make it seem that you are really welcoming them. So you're gonna have to find a balance between your customers feeling safe at your place while still feeling the kind of customer service that they're accustomed to, or actually even more. You should try to go uh, above and beyond, or to make them feel that you're there for them. Um, Especially nowadays, remember, guys, it's much cheaper to retain a customer rather to get a new one. So customer service will be very important, a very important solution for this time.
Great. It's very, very good. Thank you very much. Chris, anything else? Is that it?
Um, yeah, for now that'll be it. I guess another thing to point out that I wasn't able to mention a while ago is that the government is actually pushing for decentralization of Metro Manila. Now, it may be for business in Metro Manila, that may be something bad because you're losing customers. But if you're in the province, that may be a good thing for you as well, because you're gonna get an influx of customers. So that's also something to note.
That's a good observation. That's correct, guys. Um, so what Chris was saying is yung government not right now, they're making a big push for people to go back to their, or some people, those who can, to go back to their provinces to try and reduce yung population ng Manila para hindi ganun ka crowded. In that sense, businesses in the business sense, that's a good thing in the sense that hindi ka businesses now would not have to crowd so much in Manila to get that big piece of the pie. Kasi if people would go back to their provinces na, then that would mean yung market potential ng province na yun would increase. So that's a very good point. Thank you very much for that, Chris. Now, Chris, meron si Miss Madeline na suggestion. She does have a point here. You can use face shields so people can still see your smile. Nga naman, meron
Yes.
yung face shields.
Yes.
Pero, as advised, Miss Madeline, it would still be, yes, kasi the face shield is the plastic thing that covers your face. But I saw an advice from DOH na under the face shield, it would still be advisable na you wear at least a surgical mask. Kasi yung pong pwedeng pumasok na malanghap mo ron and stuff like that can still pose a big threat. But you do have a point. Thank you very much, Miss Madeline. I appreciate your comment. Okay, so before we go right into the Q&A portion, before we go right into the Q&A portion, let us first hear from our three great panelists right here, their final piece of advice. Starting with Miss Wenie. So Miss Wenie, any final advice for our viewers, for the entrepreneurs who took the time to watch us today, on what they can do for their businesses in the new normal?
Okay, so the advice that I can give to our fellow entrepreneurs out there is to not lose hope. It doesn't mean that we are in pandemic right now. Everything should stop. At the end of the day, whatever that we have right now, it will pass. Just like the Spanish flu and those other diseases previously, natatapos din naman talaga siya eh. Yes, it's something na masaklap kasi there are a lot of people who really suffered and died because of this pandemic. But believe me, and trust me when I tell you, na this too shall pass. And so I think the perspective that we should have right now, our thinking should be, when it passes, are you ready to bounce back? And so for me, and especially for our industry in the aesthetics, yes, a lot of my fellow aestheticians, they feel that they are paralyzed, simply because ECQ or GCQ or modified ECQ, our industry is an industry that's considered non-essential, and therefore we cannot operate. So yes, I am there with you, that you think, you feel na you really can't do anything as of this time, and that's true. Wala talaga tayong magagawa. Um, but this is, again, something that we can also use for our strategies on how we can bounce back once everything settles. And so you need to use this time productively, and you need to make sure that you have all your strategies with you, so that when you bounce back, and when this thing settles and we are given the go signal that we can operate, you have all this in place. um, I saw one of the comments. RP, is it okay if I read one of the comments from Miss Madeline?
Sure.
She said something about, for salons, using hair colors and do it yourself.
Yeah,
Yes,
this is
one
it.
of the solutions, and I would also suggest, part of the solutions, aside from doing online, putting out content, making sure your facility is COVID ready. One of the things that you can also do is, do it yourself retail kits, that's connected to your business, of course. So, say for instance, if you have a facial center or facial spa, and you have retail kits or facial sets, then probably you can, introduce it to your existing customers. And so instead of going and setting appointments, they can just use it in their homes. But there are also services kasi na hindi pa rin kasi talaga natin magagawa ng do-it-yourself. So, say for instance, yung mga manicures, yung mga lasers. So, with those kinds of scenarios naman, it's very limited for do-it-yourself. But that's one solution. So, tama naman yung sinabi ni Miss Madeline, na those are one of the things that we can do. Although, it's quite limited kasi hindi naman po lahat po pwede rin pong i-do it yourself. And so, again, going back to my advice, I guess, as entrepreneurs, not just in our industry, what we really can do now is, never lose hope. Yun lang talaga. Wala talaga ibang choice. Just never lose hope, and never forget na at the end of the day, there's always a rainbow every after storm.
Wow, thank you very much. Very, ano ba yun? Side A ba yun? Freestyle, very freestyle of you, Miss Wenie. Okay. So Ryan, how about you? Can you please give us one final piece of advice for our entrepreneurs who are looking for ways on how to navigate their business towards the new normal?
So, advice ko lang, no, is to observe. Observe your market, ano yung trend, and mag-adapt lang tayo, all right, and adjust. Okay? And let's use this time na, like, study natin kung ano yung pwede natin gawin for business in the future dahil nga dun sa social distancing. Kung ano yung magagawa natin na mas ikakaganda ng ating business. Yun lang.
Thank you. Short and sweet. Thank you very much, Ryan. And to the man of the hour, Mr. Chris Estacion, can you please give us your final advice for entrepreneurs who are looking to navigate their businesses towards the new normal or GCQ?
Yes. So yeah, we live in unprecedented time. Talagang it's a kind of very scary. On a personal level, it is very scary. But as Wenie said, there is hope. You shouldn't lose hope. Now, from a business standpoint, I believe one of the worst things you can do right now is operate in the same exact way as you're operating before the ECQ. You're gonna have to really adjust to the new normal. If possible, you're gonna have to be ahead of the trend. You be the trendsetter, and you do that by looking at every part of your business. The whole thing, from the moment your customer goes in, from when they buy the product, from when they eat it, for anything. You have to really look at everything and then see where you can improve on. As a famous quote goes, in crisis, there's always opportunity. So we can do this, guys.
Thank you very much. Very well said. Thank you, Chris. Thank you to our three very great panels. Hindi ako makaisip ng word to describe you guys. Thank you very much. So guys, to those who are still watching with us, we are now going into our Q&A portion. And before we do that, we have a question earlier, actually. Let me just bring that out now. So, from Ms. Madeline again, given that everybody is online, how do you make sure that you break out of the sea of sameness so that you get noticed? Okay. I think, Ms. Madeline, you are in my How to Market Your Brand workshop tomorrow, right? Sige. So, kasi I'm going to be answering a lot of these tomorrow. So how about I let you guys do this for now? Chris, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so it has something to do with how you market your brand. The type of ads that you're going to push out, and you're going to try to find the right people. It's our RP will really go into it tomorrow. That's, yeah.
Yeah, and Ms. Madeline, if I may just add on that, it depends on a lot of factors. Like, for example, what's the brand? That's the first thing. What and why do you need to be? Why do you need to break out? Sometimes a lot of entrepreneurs they think that you need to be unique all the time, when really in a lot of businesses it's a great thing to have, obviously, for your business to be unique, for you to be only one in that space. But that doesn't necessarily mean that for you to be successful, you need to be super unique. No, okay? So to answer this question, it has a lot of I would need to get a bit more factors that's connected to it. One of the biggest would be, I need to know the purpose. Why do we need to break out of the sea of sameness, as you put it? What is it that we are trying to accomplish? Okay? And don't worry, by tomorrow, you guys will hear a lot of the marketing talks from me. Actually, I tried so hard not to talk about that today, but a little bit got away from me. I was still able to talk about that. But tomorrow, Ms. Madeline, I'll see you in our webinar, in our How to Market Your Brand webinar, and I'll expand on this a little bit more. Okay, and there you go. Looking forward to learnings tomorrow, RP and Chris. Thank you very much, Ms. Madeline. And we have a question here for tomorrow. Then, guys, just to clarify, this is not in any way connected to the How to Market Your Brand webinar. This is just a free webinar that I do once every 2 weeks, so that I can give my followers, my viewers, a different point of view on certain businesses. It's just that for this week, we were supposed to have this meeting discussing the behavioral shifts that we can expect so that we can advise our clients moving forward. And I thought I thought it best to have this on a live setup so that, you guys, those who follow me and our brand, understand what our thought process is and the kind of advice that we provide our clients. Okay? Now, Sir Eric, to answer your question for tomorrow's webinar, will you teach us step-by-step effective social media posting methodology analysis to reach our target audience? Yes, sir, we will. And I am very happy to report that it's not just going to be yes or tomorrow. We are going to do this even after we're done with the webinar tomorrow. Okay, I'll go more into that in the webinar tomorrow. We have a question from Mr. Peter Charles Kondu. How can every entrepreneur help or assist each other, even if they are in a different industry? Ms. Wenie? Hello, Wenie? Do you hear me?
Yes.
And you want to take this one? How can every entrepreneur help or assist each other than even if they are in or different industries?
Okay. In any business, regardless if you are in the aesthetics or you are in the food industry, when you become an entrepreneur, the process of becoming an entrepreneur doesn't really limit to the industry that you are in. And so I guess the best advice to answer your question, Sir Peter, is to just make sure that you are able to accommodate questions from other entrepreneurs and make sure that you're just there and not expect for anything in return. It's very hard to become an entrepreneur. If you have a business, you don't just think of the capital that you're trying to put into start. Once you have your business started already, the struggle would then start. There's the marketing, there's how you manage your staff, and so it's hard if you don't have any people who's going to help you or at least ask advice from. And so if and when there's a community, sort of a network of all business owners helping one another in these times of need, is really very essential and important. And so again, going back, I think this would be one of the things that we can do to help and assist other businesses, to make sure that you're always there for each other.
Great answer. Thank you very much, Wenie. Ryan, do you have something to add, or Chris? We're good?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, let me just add on to that. First of all, Peter, thank you very much for the question. That's a great question, actually. It's a very humanities type of question. Looking for entrepreneurs to help each other, even if they belong to different industries. That's such a great way on how to look at things. I hope a lot of people see it the way you see it. So there are a lot of ways to answer this. Really, obviously there are donations and all that, but for me, one of the best ways for you to help other entrepreneurs, even if they are in other industries, is for you to just make sure that you do your part with excellence. What by that, what I mean is, I see this happen a lot right now in not different industries, most of the time in same industries. Entrepreneurs undercutting each other. Like, for example, right now, a lot of milk tea owners are reaching out to me because of an issue where there's an entrepreneur out there serving milk teas by the gallon. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. Has any of you three seen it? Yeah, you have, right? So there's somebody out there apparently serving milk teas by the gallon, and there's nothing wrong with that, honestly. It's just that the way they're doing it, because I'm seeing the pictures circulate, they are serving it in and I'm an expert on this, so I know what I'm talking about. They are serving it in a way that it will never be approved by the FDA. I can almost guarantee that. Okay, because I saw the pictures where they have like, I think more than 10 or 20 gallons in a corner of some place. There was even a dog in the picture. And it's not refrigerated, it's not being stored the right way or the correct way. And when that happens, you can almost be certain that a problem is headed towards that industry, or the milk tea industry in this case. Okay, what do I mean? It's not too far of a stretch to look at, or to imagine somebody going sick from that particular product, or worse. Actually, yeah, I don't want to say something worse than getting sick, or somebody getting sick from that particular product, or finding something inside that gallon that you don't want to find. But with conditions like that, because the person selling those milk tea gallons aren't committed to living up to the excellence that the milk tea industry has set for a lot of us, that person risks the entire industry being exposed to a whole lot of headache in the future, because it won't be long before an inquiry by the FDA is made, and this has happened multiple times. I've spoken to about this a lot of times in the past. Trust me when I tell you that this is a very stressful process. Okay, and when that happens, unfortunately, because of one entrepreneur just looking at the fact of selling, not really maintaining the product excellence and quality and all that, the entire industry may become affected by his or her action. So that's one way that you can help your other fellow entrepreneurs in the marketplace, making sure that you yourself hold yourself to a high standard, to a higher set of standards, to ensure that you're not in it just for for the process of making a quick buck. You're in it to make sure that you want everyone, including yourself and everyone around you, to flourish in the market environment. And to do that, you would need to make sure that you are serving quality products. Okay, so thank you for that, Peter. I appreciate that. Great way of looking at things. From Miss Madeline again. Wow, thank you very much, Miss Madeline. I appreciate this so much. Webinars like this one is one way. Thank you. Yes, that is what we're trying to do. We are trying to help out as much as we can. From Eric Elizondo, do you have any insight on how tourism industry could adapt to these new normal setting? This is actually a hard question. This was asked to me. You remember when I was, somebody called me about tourism. When you say tourism industry, Eric, I think, do you mean traveling tours? Is that your business? Okay. So what do you guys think? What
I think
will the tourism industry adapt to this new normal setting?
RP, I think when you talk about tourism industry, you talk about not just the travel and tours, but also hotels and airlines as well.
Okay, what do you guys think? So let's assume, yeah, I know, but let's assume that this is a travel and tours business owner asking us, because obviously it'll be a different advice for a hotel, different advice for travel and tours, different advice for other businesses in the tourism industry. Let's assume this is a travel and tours business. What do you guys think? Because obviously traveling right now, super out of the question. Okay, so what is the advice that you can provide to our viewers out there who have a travel and tours company?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, go.
So I think because before the ECQ, travel was really a big thing, diba? Especially for millennials. All millennials think that, oh, I need to save up so I can travel, right? I think that it will still be there, but it won't go towards group travels. So you're gonna probably see a shift towards more personalized, maybe private beaches, or maybe like an Airbnb kind of thing, something a little more secluded rather than a hotel. I think it's gonna shift to. I don't think it's gonna go away. I think it's gonna shift towards that.
A more exclusive type setting.
Yes, and then more than likely you're gonna have to charge. You can then charge a premium for
Yeah.
that particular experience, because more than likely people are still gonna want to have experiences. I don't think it's gonna go away. I actually think it's gonna become more valuable, because nowadays people are gonna become more online, so they're gonna try to find more experiences, and then you can charge a premium for that. But I'm not sure when that timeline would be, but I think it's going that way.
Well, there you go, Eric. That's actually pretty sound advice from Chris. And I read an article the other day on how Airbnb is banking on a post-pandemic boom. Okay, Airbnb, the company, they actually have, by their own companies, they actually have their own study suggesting that after the pandemic, people are going to want to go, travel so much that they believe that they are going to have a post-pandemic boom, as they coined it. Okay, so if that is right, then for all you who are in the tourism industry, then you definitely have something to look forward to. Okay. Next, we have so Miss Jewel Reyes. This is a piggyback question from the one that I said earlier. Tea gallons, is that advisable? 3 to 4 days. And she has another one. I saw many posts in groups about tea in a gallon with pearl. What can you say about this? Is this advisable? Okay, again, like what I said earlier, I see no problems with an entrepreneur trying to, do what he or she can, to make some money. Okay, that's fine by me. The problem that I have is when people don't realize that by just thinking about selling money, not really holding yourself to a high set of standards, you can get the entire industry in trouble. By what I mean is, yung tulad na sinabi ko kanina, I saw a picture circulating in various milk tea groups right now na merong nagbebenta ng mga nakagalon and nakastore lang sila in a location that's not really advisable for food. In one picture, may kasama pang ang aso. Nakalagay lang sila sa floor, not refrigerated, ganyan. And they were giving out advice na even if hindi siya refrigerated, nakalagay lang siya sa room temperature, 3 to 4 days, okay pa siya. Now, what I can tell you is this: if they are using natural ingredients, they're using real tea leaves and natural creamers and ingredients, no preservatives, then that is not possible. That will go bad. And unfortunately, actually hindi nga masarap yung pag gano'n. I'm not sure why people still buy that. Pero still, people do buy it. And unfortunately, dahil sa isa dalawang entrepreneur na medyo ang iniisip lang kumita, hindi iniisip na galingan ko naman para kahit papaano meron naman akong tipong legacy na maiiwan sa mga customers ko. Unfortunately, maapektuhan kasi yung buong industry. Kasi I've done this at least twice na. You guys know this, yung sakit ng ulo na dinanas ko, the first 2 problems na nagkaroon ng milk tea industry. Itong ginagawa niyan this will cause a problem sa buong milk tea industry, sa buong milk tea community. Kasi, trust me when I tell you, na pag yan umabot sa mga kaibigan natin sa FDA, they will put out an inquiry. And that inquiry, hindi lang naman sila. Everybody will be subjected to that inquiry. And because of social media, ang sakit kaya magkaroon ng any kind of issue na connected sa FDA sa isang negosyo. Okay? Marami sa ating mga business owners diyan, mga tea shop owners diyan, ang medyo katatakutan na naman, magkakaroon na naman tayo ng shifts in behavior ng mga taong mahilig mag-milk tea because magkakaroon na naman ng mentality na merong mga taong nagsiserve ng milk tea na hindi safe. So that's my only qualm about this particular point. Kasi this is related to the questions that's being asked from me for the past few weeks. Maraming nagagalit kasi na gano'n. And I tell them naman, I have no problem with the entrepreneur kasi syempre naiintindihan ko, lahat tayo gusto naman bumenta Pero kailangan lang, iintindihin natin na kailangan yung binibenta natin may quality ka rin kasi makaka-apekto ka talaga ng iba. Okay? So there you go.
If I could just add
Sige. Yes?
Yeah. So if I could just add, although I probably am not in a position to say this because I'm not in the food and beverage industry, but I just want to give my 2 cents as well. For siguro, if you're a business owner, if you own a milk tea shop, probably you can prepare milk tea in gallons simply because you have customers to cater, and the influx of customers that's gonna buy that particular milk tea in a gallon. However, if it's just for reselling or retailing, just like nga what RP said or mentioned earlier, mahirap nga naman kasi again, you really don't know how long the shelf life is. So you're really looking at the shelf life. But if you're an owner of a milk tea shop, then siguro you can do that. Kasi you pretty much know the influx.
Just to clarify, guys, I'm not, kasi there are people na nagbebenta ng milk tea na galo na maayos. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound like na lahat na nagbebenta ng milk tea in a gallon is bad. Okay, I'm just talking about, kasi this past few weeks, just to give you a little context, this past few weeks, maraming nagsasend sa akin ng mga reklamo about a certain entrepreneur selling milk teas in a gallon, and pinakita sa akin yung way on how they are storing it, paano nila ibinibenta. Ayun yung mga recommendations nila na kahit na room temperature lang, 3-4 days hindi masisira yung milk tea na yan. Yeah, pwede kayong mag-experiment. Bili kayo ng milk tea from your favorite milk tea stores, yung mga legitimate milk tea stores ninyo. Leave it out there for about 1 day. And tikman nyo kung ano mangyayari doon. Or actually, huwag nyo matikman. Pero tignan nyo kung ano yung mangyayari doon. Okay? Kasi the reality is, when you are using fresh ingredients, you cannot give that kind of recommendation. Okay? Posibleng tumagal yun ng ganun katagal if it's refrigerated, but the taste will still suffer. So that's the problem that I have. Okay? But there are those businesses, there are those entrepreneurs na nagbebenta naman ng milk tea na galo na maayos. Meron nga akong mga kilala, nagpapa-milk tea party sila. That's just the term. When I say milk tea party, they bring the gallon, they bring the pearl, hiwalay, and you get to make all of it in your house. Okay, so may mga ganon. So I didn't mean to make it sound like na lahat ng gumagawa nun is not good. I just mean na kailangan sumunod naman sila sa mga maaayos na standards. Okay, kasi kapag kaya na investigate, medyo lahat kasi masasaktan. Hindi lang sila, buti sana if the problem that they are bringing, sila lang ang problema. Pero the problem that they are going to bring, lahat maapektuhan. If you guys remember a few years ago, I don't want to get into the whole story, pero there was a very fatal incident involving the milk tea business, milk tea industry, and because of that incident, medyo the entire industry took a large hit talaga. As in talagang nag-dip talaga. I have clients calling me crying that the entire 3-4 months na it was going on, and they were selling literally zero. So it did happen. Fortunately for us, our industry, or this industry, the milk tea industry, was able to rebound and it became a lot stronger. Unfortunately for us, dahil nga na ganyan na siya kalakas, meron na namang mga sumusulpot na ang ugali or ang tingin ay gusto lang bumenta ng bumenta, hindi nag-iisip ng quality, and worse, hindi nag-iisip ng safety ng mga consumers nila. So that's the only problem that I have there. Okay? So do we have any other questions, guys? I guess that's it. I'm not seeing any other. Let me just check. On the text community, inuulan kami, Sir RP, mahina ang connection namin. Mahina daw ang connection nila dahil maulan.
I understand.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so with nothing else, guys, I think that's a wrap. I think we can end this here. And do you guys have anything else to say? Meron ba kayong mga gustong sabihin? Our three panelists?
No, I think everything you've said, everybody stay safe. We'll get through this.
Well, in that case, thank you very much, guys. Thank you to all of you who watched us until the very end. We appreciate you guys so much. And to those that naka-enroll sa, sa How to Market Your Brand webinar for tomorrow, I'll see you guys and take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.